So, I have been doing some grieving. Um, my cat Tammy, who some of you all might know from Wise Cats, is really old and really sick. And she probably has cancer. And, um, she's losing weight and her breathing isn't as good as it used to be. It just feels like she has to struggle a little to breathe. But she's still pooping and peeing and she's still eating really good. And she's started to like pee where she sleeps or around. Like she'll get up and she ends up like peeing on the bed and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really hard. I keep going back and forth between trying to prepare myself for her death and thinking, okay, maybe I need to put her to sleep because if she's having a hard time breathing, that could be uncomfortable. And if she's, peeing on things, then that's like, um, just more of an inconvenience. And I was thinking of like not letting her get on the bed and that kind of thing. But it's like the time that we spend together is on the bed, and so it's like I want to keep her around me, and so coming up with just ways of dealing with that so that I don't feel, resentful or there's some kind of negativity in my heart for her. And I feel like I came up with a solution which felt good to do that because now I feel. And I also put a little bed in the kitchen so that she can eat and get water, and she's been staying in there during the day. And that seems to like let her do what she wants to do without having to walk so far, and she gets to lay in the sun. And so that seems to work good. And then like tonight she came in and she's in here with me, and I have plastic all over my bed, so if she pees I'll just have to wash whatever she peed on. But anyway, I was just laying there and listening to her purr, and I knew I recorded it um, because it just sounded so cute, and I was thinking of, I've been wanting to make some videos with her, and so I want to use her purr. But it was very like meditative, and she was just really sweet, and I just started crying and just realizing that I've been really in my head in terms of thinking about things from a very logical place, and that on an emotional level, I've never had to put one of my own pets down before or had them die of natural causes, not any that were living with me as an adult. And so that's always been a fear of mine, big time. And I've been there for other people. And I worked at a vet's office and was present for that a few times. And I've just always been terrified at the thought of having to do that with one of my cats, especially my cat Bowser, because he was my first cat, and that's when I first had that thought of like, oh my god, I can't imagine having to let this thing go. I don't have children, so it's like my cats are my children, the bond and the love. And then so, the possibility of having something that you love just taken away from you and you having to decide to be the one to have it be taken away final for good is like something I just have never really looked forward to at all. And now I'm being presented with that. And with Tammy, she's 20 years old. That's like 96 in human years. She has cancer, she has tumors, her nose is bleeding, all of this stuff. But for the most part, she's pretty happy to be alive. And she's like sweet, and she's eating, and she as long as she doesn't have to walk very far, she can breathe okay. And so it's like, I want to keep her happy and I want to keep her around because I've grown really attached to her. I've only had her since 2005. But she, I moved out to California to be with Chris. And so besides Chris for a while, and even now, except for my other cats, like Tammy is like one of my friends, like somebody who I met and bonded with at a very momentous time in my life, which was moving across country, starting a new relationship, starting just basically going through my awakening and healing all of my childhood stuff. She's like been there with me through all of that. And none of my other cats have because they're over at Chris's house and Tammy is in my house. So it's just this unique bond that I have with her, and that in what she also symbolically represents for me. And that was one of the things I was thinking about when I was crying, was just this being given this opportunity to prepare for her passing, and that I didn't necessarily get that when I was little and my mom gave custody to my father. It was like it happened. She was a drug addict. She needed to go to rehab and she needed to get her life in order, and we had to go live with our dad. It was very like sudden, and there was no mental preparation for my whole life changing. The nature of my bond in connection with my mom was going to drastically change. And so that's kind of like what it feels like with Tammy leaving, is like this change. It's like I knew my mom still loved me even though I wasn't living with her, just like I'll know in spirit Tammy will be around me and that kind of thing. But it's similar in some ways, and so it's like I feel like I'm being given a chance to go through. It's like she's my mom, like to go through that grieving period consciously, or preparing for a sad separation, basically, is what it comes down to. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm preparing for that. But at the same time, it's like, I want to see her as alive, and the part of me that wants to, be a healer and an energy worker and things like that. It's like I don't want to relate to her as you're dying, you're going to be dead soon. But that's where my mind goes a lot in trying to prepare for that. And so tonight, and because of that, I haven't really let myself feel my feelings and really put the emotion behind the thought of her dying. And I did tonight, and I also was thinking that, I can let myself just be sad that she's sick, and I don't have to put the focus on her dying as much as just the fact that she's sick, and that is sad, and that, has outcomes that can be dealt with when the time comes. But for now, I don't have to kill her off in my mind. I can just spend quality time with her and let her know that I love her, and give her extra great snacks and take her outside when she looks like she's interested, and just do, hands-on healing, and take her to the vet, and just do what I can, and really appreciate the time I'm spending with her, so that when the time comes that she does cross over, then I will have all of these memories of this time where I really was not taking her for granted.
a melodrama so we can wake up the whole wide world. Let's make up and start all over and awaken the boys and the girls.